Hey guys, this is gonna be a short video about how to get the most out of the foliage brushes for Blaise. Well, for Blaise's foliage brushes. Now in Clip Studio Paint. Woohoo! It's my second package. I did it because everyone seemed to really like the hair bundle, and you guys seem to be okay with following all the instructions on how to import it. So now we're gonna do foliage. The reason why I'm doing a little bit of an extra video is because the foliage brush set from Blaise includes a lot of brushes. So I just want to make sure that you get the most out of it, because there's a new component in it, which is the color mixing, that you need to know a bit about the brush engine to get the most out of it. So if you're watching these and you have not watched the first video that's linked in the description about how to import the materials and the .sut and link them to the .sut files, you gotta watch that video first, because then otherwise you won't be able to get to this step. This is the second part of the video, so I'll make sure to write down this description. So let's quickly get started. Before we do, I do want to give you a bit of excitement about how amazing these brushes are. I went ahead and I did I'll link this tutorial too in the description. This is Blaise's 52-minute tutorial about how to use his foliage brushes, and you can see he ends up doing this beautiful tree with this beautiful scenery. I mean, he's just brilliant at it, and it's just using his brushes. So I wanted to make sure that I could do the same, but with Clip Studio Paint, with the brush set that I created. So let me see if I can open it. I still have the foliage, like the color dodge at the end to do, but there it is. It's obviously not exactly the same as his is. So let me put back his. I can do a print screen on it so we can see it at the same time. Here we go to the top, and I paste it. So that's Aaron's. You can see mine's different. His tree came out so well drawn in layers. Mine's like one single layer. But you can see, essentially, you can do exactly the same thing with his brushes, but now in Clip Studio Paint. You can zoom in, you can see the branches, the leaves, and this is all done with his brushes. Like, I didn't do anything special. All I did was follow his tutorial and just use the brushes. The same package that you are now purchasing through Gumroad. So that's it. There's not much else to say, so let's just get started on how to use the brushes. So there's one fundamental difference. In the first video, when you import the brushes and you want to import the material, you usually the way I described it in that video is that you go to the brush tip and then you create this, like add brush tip shape. Now, the way I've done the second foliage brush, you don't have to click here. You're gonna have to click here. So in essence, when you get the brush, if I'm not mistaken, in fact, we can pretty much here. So I will make sure to, I'm renaming it here for a second, because if you have the same name and you import that with the same name, then it has some problems. So I'm just gonna go to the number 1, which is here. You guys are gonna have to do this. You import it here. It's down here on the bottom, right? And when you hit the little wrench icon, you see that the brush tip is already applied, and it's like a little circle. I don't want you to go here. I want you to just click here, and then you choose Foliage 1. You click that, and you have it. Isn't that magic? And you can see this is the one I imported, right? There you go. And if I go to my original brush, which is up here, and I renamed it, same thing, same brush. Isn't that amazing? It's just so magical. Let me delete it. I'm just gonna go ahead and delete it because I don't want to have it duplicated. And I'm gonna rename. I wish there was a Control Z. Rename it back to its original. And when you import all of them, you're gonna end up with 39 brushes overall, if I'm correct. Well, not 39, it's actually 43, but you only see up to the number 39 because there's a couple of them that have like something like this: foliage brush 1, foliage brushes 1_2. That's because Aaron provided, I believe it was 58 brushes with that brush set. And the thing is that many of them are duplicated with different settings. And I didn't duplicate all of them because in essence, you can do them right here in the brush engine to your liking. And I didn't think it was necessary. I mean, I can show you how to save it when you have something you like. I only applied the ones that I thought had vastly different settings. So for example, this is brush 1, right? Let me get the layer. And then you see foliage brushes 1, which is, this one would be _2, but I named it multiple on me personally. See the difference? You go brush 1 is just like one line, and then the second version is a whole bunch of them, and it's just, that's right here in the brush engine. So you can do the same thing with this one, but the difference is this one doesn't have spray effect, this one does, and because the settings are so a bit complicated, I just did it for you guys, and there it is. That's pretty much it. So, and one of the reasons why now instead of adding the new brush tip, I want you to click on it, is because some of these, I can't remember which one, have multiple brush tips applied. Like this one, for example, this would be foliage brush number 5. When you like if you were to load this as you purchase it from Gumroad, you would see 2 of these. So all you have to do is just click it, search material brush 5, apply, select it, hit OK, then go to the next one here, search foliage brushes 5, select it here and press OK. I mean, it's not a mistake. There's a reason why there's 2. It's necessary so that the brush behaves exactly as Aaron's does in Photoshop. That's one of the fundamentals, like one of the principal differences from if you purchase the Hair for Brush set in the way you pour the material. And the other difference that you will find is in the brush engine, there's a property called mixing rate of subdrawing color. Now, don't let that description make you afraid of using the brush. It's actually an incredibly useful tool. So all it does is you have 2 colors when you're drawing in pretty much Photoshop and here too. So if I want you to look here, right? If I press X, I'm gonna switch for my active color to be not the foreground color, but the background one. See how it switches? So when you're drawing with the foreground color, this mixing rate of subdrawing color is activated. That means that it will take your foreground color, which in this case is green, and it will mix it in random sporadic ways with the color underneath, which in this case is a dark red. Now, if at any time you're drawing and you say, man, I really don't want this mixing happening, right? I don't want this mixing going on because I'm drawing, I'm like, no, I only want it to be a solid color. There's 2 things you can do. You can either go here and turn it off and put it on 0. There it is. Or just make your active color the background color. So when your active color is the background color, it won't do the submixing because there's no subdrawing color underneath. See? Now if I go back to the foreground color, it's back. That's the 2 ways you can do it. I'll say it again. You can either turn it off here by putting it on 0, and then you can always get it back when you hit the default settings, put it back to its default settings. Or make sure that the active color that you're drawing with is your subdrawing color, which is, you gotta make sure that your little white box is focused on the second color. That's all you gotta do. That's it. And to use this, all you have to do is say you're in the foreground color now. I'm gonna pick a cool color, say pink and blue, right? So I wanted to switch between pink, and then my subdrawing color is gonna be this darkish pink, not darkish, light. So now if my active color is the foreground color, the mixing is going to happen, and then I should get pinks and blues in a very random way. In this case, I've made the blue far too strong so that pink will never actually come through. There. See how it's mixing, and now you're getting tones of purples? Now imagine that you actually want more of the pink than the blue. You just go to the mixing subgrade, and the more the higher the number here, the more pink you're gonna get. See that? Like if I go to 100, you only get pink, or mostly pink. See that? Go back down, you can always refresh it. This is super cool in terms of, for example, this is actually a brush, a leaf brush, right? So imagine that you're in this kind of autumnish color. You can choose like a dark brown and then something super light. And then you can put here, I don't know, 65. And look at that. Look at this beautiful autumn colors. All in one go, right there. Look at that. Look at this, beautiful. Then you can, it's gorgeous. You can go like that. And then you could even just then modify it with perspective. And then suddenly you would have this beautiful autumn leaves on the floor in like 5 seconds. I mean, how amazing is that? There you go. You got your leaves on the floor. That's very cool. That's that's the main thing I wanted to teach about these brushes. There's a lot of them that have that mixing subgrade drawing color. I want to make sure that we all know how to use them, because otherwise you won't get the best out of this. This one's the same brush, but in this one you can see there's more leaves turning as I go. They're turning in perspective. See? They're extremely cool. So, for example, you can do, I don't know, what's the color of a grayish? You can have this, and then you can have the foliage be a little darker, and that'll be the leaves on top of them. I mean, this is extremely cool. Like, this is it. Look at this. This is so gorgeous. These brushes are amazing. And now you can actually use them in Clip Studio Paint, and you will not have to go through the pain I went through of configuring each one. You just gotta import them, associate the material, that's it. Bada bing, bada boom, you're done. Another thing I want to mention is, I did explain this on the first video, but I'll say it again just to make sure it gets through, because I know the brush engine for Clip Studio Paint is, I mean, all of them, they're very potent, they're very big, they've got a lot of configurations. So when you see something like this, that you see a lot of leaves going on, that's usually a spray effect happening. That means that the same stamp, it's getting stamped into the canvas over and over. And I'm sorry about the clicking. I share a room with other people, and they're gamers, and they click a lot. There's nothing I can do about that. So in this case, because of the spraying effect, increasing the brush size does not do what you think it does. So in a regular brush, say let's pick the regular soft, right? If I increase the size, you'd expect the circle to be bigger, right? Yeah, that's exactly what I expect. But if I go to the foliage brushes, right, and I start with this, I'd say, oh, so now the leaves are gonna be like super tiny, right? They don't look very tiny. Let's make them super big. They actually look the same size. And that's because when the spray effect, if you look towards the right, when the spraying effect is activated, the size of the brush does not control the size of the brush tip of the thing that you're stamping onto the canvas. So when the spraying effects happens, the brush size controls the area in which the brush tip gets sprayed on. So the bigger your circle, which is the bigger your brush, the more area or circumference you have for the brush to get stamped on. The smaller it is, the smaller area the leaves will be in. So going by that rule, you will probably see on that size like a single line of leaves. Yeah? Why? Because the circumference is so tiny, you can only spray in that area. But if I make my brush huge, that means in all that circle inside of it, you're gonna see a whole bunch of leaves getting sprayed, and you will see that's no longer a line. You see that? That's the difference. But then your question, which I know it's just burning inside of you, is what if I want to change the leaf size? Because it's kind of ridiculous that I only get one leaf size, right? And I absolutely agree, it's ridiculous, and you can change it. And the way to change it is in the motor engine, or the brush engine, not the motor engine, the brush engine. It's in the under particle size. You want tiny leaves? You go to the particle size. I don't know, you make it 25. Well, I can't even see them, they're so tiny. I'm gonna make them bigger. Let's make it 100. Look at those tiny leaves. I wanna make them huge. Even bigger, let's go nuts. There they are. So, and you can actually associate. So if you guys don't like going like a little, you know, like a peasant over here with your arm and wasting all that effort and then just changing it here, you can associate a shortcut, which mine's, I don't know if you can see it. I'm actually pressing my keyboard. I'm not touching, and you're seeing the size change without me going here and change it. So for example, if I keep it pressed, it increases rather slowly. And then there it is. And then I can make it increase some more. Bigger. Bigger. To do that, all you have to do is go to File, Shortcut Settings. I think it's Tools. No, it's not the brush. It's this. Is it the brush? Yes, brush. No, sorry. Options. Tool property palette. Yeah, so that was it. So let me go through that again. My bad. So you go to File, Shortcut Settings, make sure the options are selected, and then you make sure to read through all of this and you find the sub tool palette. No, my bad. The brush size, the tool property palette. That's it. Sorry. There we go. And in here, I have so many open. You're gonna look through them. Remember, tool property palette, inside options, not brush size, ink, and no. Here it is, spraying effect. And then you're gonna find reduce particle size. My shortcut is Control Alt and a dot. And then that's reduce the size, and increase the size is Control Alt comma or semicolon. So if you guys want to edit this, all you got to do is click on it, double click on it, and then you can just edit it. And then just once you've put it in the keyboard, you click out and it's saved. That's it. That's all it is. And then you have the keyboard shortcut. Remember, if you want to make it big, just change it there. And another thing you can do is imagine that for whatever reason, you know, you're painting and you're like, oh man, this, you know, I really wish that I didn't have to do 5 strokes to get that amount of leaves. You can change that. No, seriously, you can change that. How? You go over here to the brush engine and you select, if you look at particle density, that just literally means how many leaves you want in your circle. So if you increase to 3 squares, oh, you're gonna see more leaves. You increase it to all of the leaves. Look at all those in one stroke. So just so you can compare, this is 1 stroke with the 5 put in. I'm gonna reset it. This is the original one. See that? There is so much you can do with the brush engine, guys. It's just ridiculous. You know, all that's left to do is for you guys to just get on with this, play with it, draw, paint, post me or tag me in Twitter. I would love to see what you guys do with this. And obviously thank Aaron, because he's the one that created the brushes. All I've done is, because I love Clip Studio Paint and because I love his brushes, I've simply adapted them to be used here. That's it. That's all I've done. And of course, if anybody's watching this, you cannot use this if you have not previously bought Aaron's brushes, because you need the images that you export with abrMate. But you guys would know that because you saw the first video. I don't know. That's it. I don't know what else to say. There's a whole bunch of amazing brushes in here. You got this one. It's got a little texture. You got this one. Oh, look! I love this one. Look at the leaves. They just follow you. Look. So imagine you're doing like a... Oh, look how cool that is. And then you got this one. You got this one. Oh, this one's like branches, and then more branches. This is like a pretty big one. This one's like more foliage. This one, oh, this one's, I think it's a trunk. See, you can like get that and then just go. Woo! There's your tree. There's just so many. Oh, this is like the top of a tree, and then you got like the middle of the tree, and then you got like the bottom. I know. And then you got more trees. I thought that was the bottom of the tree. This one, this one. Ah, that was it. That was the bottom of the tree. So this is the bottom. This is the middle. Up, other way around. Bottom. Bottom. And then the top. It's just so many. Oh, this is like the grass. Yeah. This one's just another one. And these are like dead branches without leaves. This is lushy branches. This is actually tree bark. And it's more dead branches. More dead branches. It keeps going, guys. It just keeps going. And there's more. There's so many. That's more tree bark. More tree bark. That's another kind of leaf. That's the leaf, but with the mixing rates of color. More stuff. More stuff. Last one, which is like, oh, this one's, so in the tutorial he used this one for some very pretty flowers, yeah, in a field. Yeah. So you guys want to see again the tutorial, which I definitely recommend you go to. I'll post it. Do his tutorial with his brushes by Eclipse Studio Paint, and you'll learn a lot about how to use them. This is exactly what you can get to, because this is exactly what I got to. Let me see if I saved them along the way. So, and if you zoom in, you'll see the brushes. Like this is it. Like I didn't do any painting. Well, I did do painting, but these are his brushes. Just follow the tutorial. This is like the first one, the bark and the branches. And then after that, I put a little bit of color. And after the color, a little bit more texture. And then after that, this is the last one. I kind of made it grow a little. Oh, this is the bark I was talking about. All I did, I mean, seriously, in the tutorial, all he does is he gets the bark, right? So let's pick a color. Be dark, like that. And he does, ooh, bark. And then you lock the transparency by hitting the lock key here. Select the tree bark. Select 2 colors for the tree bark. Yeah. That's it. That's all he did. And then you can select something more bluish on the other side. And then you can blend it a little bit on the middle. Look at that. That's bark. Then you can get some other type of, is this still bark? No, it's not bark. This is bark? Yeah. You can get some more bark and then select like a pretty bright one. Make it a little smaller. And then let's let the light hit it a little more. There's your tree in like 3 strokes. That's brilliant. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Just do his tutorial, because that's what I did. Follow him and you'll be able to learn how to use the brushes, how they're meant to be used. But the only thing I'm doing here is letting you use them in the amazing Eclipse Studio Paint. That's it. That's all it is. That's all I got to say. I don't have anything else to say. That's it for this video. You know, leave your comments on it. If you guys are, because I do have a list of other brushes that I'm importing and configuring. It just takes a long time. That's why I really appreciate if you guys share them, and you know, if people purchase them, because it buys me time to do more. I did have somebody mention that they wanted to see the water one. I've been working on it. Let me see if I can show you. a little preview. I love one of my favorite ones on the water one is the splatter brush. Look at that. I love that. I love the splatter brush. You know, it's got waves. Like, I'm working on it, and the moment it's done, I'll also share that one and I'll make a video out of it and make sure I do a tutorial from Blaise to show you guys that you can do exactly what he is doing in Photoshop with his brushes, but in Clip Studio Paint. So that's all I gotta say. I hope you enjoyed the brushes, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, bye, and remember to share the Gumroad and anything, you know, that can help me out getting these brushes out to other Clip Studio painters. Thank you, bye.